Now this hydrangea really needs some water, and I'm gonna get this thing planted up. I almost went in for the day, but I'm not gonna do that because I would be constantly telling myself, hey, I could have planted that thing. Look how beautiful it is. We got some nice color here. This is the Summer Crush. Absolutely gorgeous. It's got how would you describe that color, Jane?
Fuchsia, pink.
It has a fuchsia pink style blooms, nice cluster blooms. You see these are sagging. That's an indication of needing water. The soil is super dry. We're gonna go in with some good soil around it. There's a lot of blooms that haven't opened, and this thing is very nice, very nice. The Summer Crush. It is. They say dig a hole 1.5 times the size of the pot. Remove pot, fill with existing soil and compost. Mulch to retain moisture. Keep soil evenly moist, not wet. It says and enjoy. Yeah, we're definitely gonna enjoy this. Um, I'm gonna go around it with some good soil, and the location is going to be in a filtered sunlight area that gets morning sun, and I think it's gonna do just fine. These here, if I'm not mistaken, can stand a little more sun than hydrangeas that I've seen earlier. Right here it says full sun, partial shade. It will get, the height will be 18 to 36 inches, width 18 to 36. So I'll be planting this away from the fence. And oh, it has a color thing here from acidic to alkaline. So if the soil is more alkaline, the blooms will be lighter. If it's acidic, they will be darker, but it's going to be within the same color range. Now, hydrangeas from back in the day will turn either blue or pink, determining the acidity of the soil, depending on the acidity of the soil. So, we're going to get this hole dug out and get her planted. Janice likes to turn the side with the most blooms to the focal point, so we'll be doing that too. And this right here, this soil is very sandy. Now, sand is good if you need drain. It's good for drainable aspect of your soil. But we're gonna go in with some good soil. And what I'm gonna do is put this in. Okay, the hole is twice the size, so that when the roots start reaching out, they'll be reaching into something good. So I got space on the bottom of the hole, and space on the sides. Going in with no gloves and moving this stuff back, moving it back. So you got at least 4 inches all the way around the pot of soil and 4 inches under the pot as well. Now, Janice, go around to the side that you can see from the street. That way you'll know if I have the most blooms out facing toward the street. Now, I got this thing in here and I did not calculate the soil that I dug out. So I'm gonna raise it back up a little bit, add the good soil along with some native soil so we can have more drainable properties in here. And there's a lot of organic material. We're gonna push all this in, and she is sitting above the ground just an inch because when, oh, this has roots on it. Look at that. Is it in focus? No, it's got roots on it. Look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna put that right on in here. And with this, with this soil, it's going to give it nutrients, and the sand will keep it from getting root rot from the water staying on the roots too long. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take this to the house, take that in the house, and propagate it. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little more of this all the way around. Okay, and as I fill it in, I'm going to be cutting into the ground to direct the water toward the hydrangea. Now I'm cutting around like this. You can see the ground is high on this side, so that's where your water is going to be coming from. And this will direct it toward the roots. Now, we usually pull back the mulch first, but this whole area is going to be getting new mulch, and it's going to look a lot better than this. Now, from this angle, it looks like the hydrangea is touching the ground, but actually there is some airflow under here. There's spaces. There's space so that it's not touching. There's a couple of leaves touching on this side, but we'll probably clip those. We'll clip those off because you don't want the leaves resting on the ground to prevent rot and allow airflow. Look how big these blooms are. You can see that I couldn't even close my hand around this. The color is beautiful, and this is going to be the ideal spot for this hydrangea. And a lot of hydrangeas that I've seen in the past are shade to part shade. This one here is part sun to shade, so it can stand a little more sunlight than the usual hydrangea, and it's going to be beautiful with this color. And we're going to see how it does. It's the first time we've used this one, but I have grown hydrangeas on different places before, and it's just the first time putting one here. So we're going to the initial watering. We're going to soak it down, but after this, just moist, not wet. I'm going to be doing a repot of this caladium. It is absolutely beautiful. There are so many different caladiums and different caladium names. These didn't even have a name on. Didn't have a name tag, but I don't want to mix anything up, so I'm just gonna say caladium. But I know that these here look like the heart to heart. As a matter of fact, like on the back side of these look like the heart to heart because they have that green margin with the red center. Now I'm debating on the pink dots. I have no idea, and I almost said paint splatter for these, but don't quote me on any of that. We're just gonna go with caladiums because that's the tag I got. But I do know the plant care for these. But what I'm gonna be doing is repotting these. And some people might wonder why would I go from a beautiful ceramic pot like this to a plastic terracotta pot. Two reasons. One, the pot is this plant's gonna outgrow this pot really quick. And number two, with this terracotta pot, I could put in some spillers. So we're going to really enjoy getting this repotted. And I'm glad I decided to do it. I almost went in for today, but then I said, you know what? I'm going to feel really bad if I don't get this done. It's crazy. Got some little coleus here. They're kind of droopy. They just need a little water. I was debating on adding this creeping Jenny to the pot. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some soil in this big terracotta after I get all the tools out. And the soil I'm using is drainable soil. I have a leftover bag, so I'll get rid of this first. Get rid of that first. See, and this soil it has a lot of perlite in it and some organic matter. And I think it's going to be just right for these caladiums because they do best with drainable soil. I'm going to add in some more and before I put this in, because I know this is not going to be enough, because I can sit this pot in here and for the bottom, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and sit this pot in here and then just add the soil in around it. So I'll squeeze this out. I don't want to get sidetracked on the repot, but we also have some magenta halo magenta vincas here that we're going to be putting around our diamond head elephant ear bed, which has no mulch yet. It's got some geraniums up top on that tall pot with creeping Jenny, and also some upright elephant ears. But around the perimeter, we're going to be putting the magenta halo magenta vincas. You see the Thailand giants back there in the background. Going to be doing a video on those later on. See if I can zoom in. I can only zoom in so much with this, but they're back there. They're surrounded by the dragon wing begonia. But for right now, we're going to do the repot on this caladium and talk a little bit about it, why I like it, and a few care tips. So, as I look into the pot, I see that there's several plants and other leaves that are about to open up. So look at that leaf there. It's all curled up and it'll flap open like this one. And when I chose this plant, I noticed there were several caladiums at the bottom. You know, I could look at the bottom and tell that there was several plants in here. So we are going to put it in here. It will just well actually this is not root bound, so that's good. And we'll set it in. And the height of the soil will give me a couple of inches at the top of the root ball on this. I might raise it up a little bit and let me find the best side for this pot because this got some scratches on this side. I don't know how many sides this thing's gonna be seen from, but we want the side that we want our best side forward, put it that way. Oh, it also has a bloom too. I don't know if this bloom's gonna make it or how stressed it is. But right here there's a bloom in the middle. It hasn't quite opened yet. I don't know if it's gonna make it because this plant has been through some stuff. See that bloom right there? And it has like a corn cob looking bloom there. Look at that. Hold on. right there. See? So I'm gonna get this thing planted and hydrated. Let me find the best side of this pot and spin it around, because I do believe this pot's only gonna be seen from one side. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is, because it's gonna be under a bush in the front of the house, which is one of the few spots that we get shade. Um, the caladium will bring a brightness to any shady area of your garden. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the daisies over here. You can see some of this area has been sprayed off. The daisies here, look at that, beautiful. Just something to look at, and we'll be talking about those later. I have behind them, I have the rudbeckias and some yucca plants. Okay. Okay, getting back to the caladium repot. I've done several repot. I do a repot every year on the caladiums. They're constantly coming out with different colors and patterns, but there's a few that I'm drawn to, and a few that we use through the season. And have I've noticed that the ones with the really light colored leaves or the white leaves, they're more prone to scorch. So you have to keep those out of the sun. And see, this is a tricky pot here, okay, because the red and the green ones, they can handle more sun, and the white ones handle less sun because the leaves are so much thinner, and they have less chlorophyll and can't really take as much sun as the other ones. So you can see how stressed this leaf here looks from lack of water and sun scorch. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this pot in. The soil at the bottom of the root ball is about where I want it, and we're just gonna fill all the way around with some good soil. Okay, I'm gonna go in. I usually use a scoop, but I'm gonna see what I can do by just pouring it in. Think I should just pour it in, Janice, or use a scoop? Oh, okay.
'Cause you're messy.
I like to clean as I go, and sometimes I can get a little messy with my soil. But we're gonna go with the hand trowel, scoop at a time, because there's no rush. You know, I can get nice big scoops with this hand trowel. Okay, watch out for that. And getting some really big scoops and going all the way around. You know what though, Janice, that was a good idea going with the hand trowel, because I can put this soil exactly where I want it. You know, a lot of times the fastest way is not always the best way. You know, look at that.
I know.
Boom. See how I hug that plant?
Mm.
Just
Hug
like
the
hugging a
plant.
tree.
That's right.
Okay, and lift the leaves up. And as I'm doing this, I'm making sure that the top of the soil is not higher than the root ball. Pushing down a little bit all the way around, so that I know when we water it, it's gonna settle in, and this soil will drop down some. So this caladium mixture here will take shade to part sun, and does very well in drainable soil, good nutrients, keep it evenly moist, and I'm thinking, well, it depends on where you live and how you're. Okay, so my battery is getting low, and you pretty much got the gist of it. We'll be doing updates on this, and if you like this content, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel a lot, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos are being posted. Enjoy your day. Earlier, I said this was a tricky pot, but there is a solution to that. Just keep it more in the shade, and both caladiums should do fine. Where we're putting this is going to be in filtered sunlight under a bush, which will get some sun in the morning because, and then as the sun rises, the bush will filter it out. And then around 12 or so, the house shades the whole yard, so it's in full shade then. Yeah, these caladiums will brighten up any shady part of your garden, and we use them every year, and I've had no problems. I like the color patterns, the green, the white, the red, the speckles, and the freckles.